Witness a hellish vision of 1999, a social isolation analog technology and disturbing home video fuse into a nightmare of found footage savagery. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Burns Reviews. My name is John and today we're talking about the new anthology film, VHS 99. Now, before we begin, if you could, be sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe, really do appreciate it, and let's just get straight into it. VHS is a anthology series that I have seen only most recently in the past year. I saw the first one because I knew Ty West was associated with it. He did one of the shorts, and I had Ty West kick. You know, he did X, Pearl. He's going to be doing Maxine. I watched like the Innkeepers and Sacrament, the Devil, the House of the Devil, and I want to check out his segment because I want to be a completionist and watch them all. Also, Adam Wingard, the guy who did Godzilla vs. Kong, and I'm completely blanking on which horror movie he did. I think You're Next might be it. I'll put a little caption if it's wrong. But with the new one, you know, essentially I haven't seen part 2, but I had seen VHS 1994, which was on Shudder, because the rights had moved, and the movie got better. 1994 VHS is kind of amazing. I love the one with like the news anchors and everything goes sideways. It was a lot of fun and it was unexpected. And because of that film, I got really excited for this film, obviously. And this one does not disappoint. Now, going into some negatives, yes, they're not all great. There's 5 stories. I'd say 3 of them are pretty solid. One of them is okay. And then there's one that's just like god-awful and you can just skip it altogether. But that's always kind of been the case with the VHS franchise. You don't get 5 stellar movies. You usually get, you know, 5 mixed bag mystery boxes, and then you open up that box and find out if it's good or bad. It's kind of like when you're a kid and you put a quarter in the machine and a little plastic ball comes out and you take it out and maybe you get something good and maybe you don't. Point I'm trying to make is that this is a movie that goes straight to streaming. This movie is going straight to Shudder. It's not going to be in theaters. It might be on video on demand. You might be able to buy it, but I think it's exclusively going to Shudder. But it's pretty damn good. There's one in the middle called like Ozzy's Adventure or something like that. And it's got Stephen Ogg from Grand Theft Auto, Trevor, essentially. And he's just fucking great. So basically in that storyline, and I'm not going to go into spoilers in this video, but basically the setup of that storyline, because it's an anthology of 5 little stories, is think of like all those shows you watched as a kid on Nickelodeon. Legends of the Hidden Temple, Guts, Double Dare, all that crap. Now put a really bloody spin on it. Imagine you actually won tickets to be on that show. I know I was one of those kids. I always wanted to go to Nickelodeon Studios and all that bullshit. And I always wanted to be on Legends of the Hidden Temple. I always felt like I could have solved that monkey puzzle lickety-split. And I was like, those kids are so dumb. I want to be on that show and win a mountain bike and a cheap camera. But never did. But with this storyline, things go sideways quick. And imagine if you actually did get on that show and it turned out to be a bloody nightmare. That's exactly what you get in that middle chapter, middle story of VHS 99. And then the other couple are pretty good too. There's one that's like kind of based on American Pie. Didn't love that one very much. It was kind of obvious because it involves like a webcam, kind of like in the original American Pie movie. Like, you know, Jason Biggs has like the webcam and he's spying on Nadia and the whole bullshit. Yeah, it's literally just that with a little bit of a scary ending, and it was very underwhelming. One last negative, or maybe a positive, I don't know how to feel about this, is that the framework for this movie is different. Typically what you have is like a framework around this anthology of 5 stories, and there's like another story that's kind of moving along throughout the film. And you know what? On one hand, I'm like, this kind of feels like Robot Chicken, because like you're watching these little army soldiers like kind of go back and forth. And it's not really a story at all, it's just kind of like a guy goofing around with like toy soldiers. But on the other hand, I didn't have to remember what was going on in the framing story outside of the anthology. Because I found that to be kind of jarring in the older movies, where like you would be done with the story and then be brought back into like the main framing story, and you're like, oh right, that's right, okay, now I remember. Okay, yeah. This is more just like little cute, fun little animations they kind of put in between the, well, not animations, but little like stop motion things they put in the middle that I really enjoyed. But it won't be for everybody, and some people are gonna dislike that a lot. I found it kind of refreshing and different. I know they're going to make a VHS 1985 next year. Essentially, 1994's VHS was a really big hit last year, and they're just going to keep going with it. So, those are my thoughts that are spoiler-free for now. I mostly liked it. I would probably give it a 7 out of 10 overall. And the one with Stephen Ogg, my god, man. That one is just... you're touching on my childhood, and you're making it all twisted up and fucked up, and I thank you for it. So there you go. That's my review of VHS 99. I can't wait for 87. It's going to be on Shudder tomorrow, or today, if it's Thursday today. And until that's guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been John here in Burns Reviews, and we will see you next time.